A good week for me, if I can get 3 in, and that's pushing it. If I can get 3 in, that's a great week.
That's a fat week right there, paycheck-wise.
Yes, it is, and the missus loves it.
I'm sure she does.
Welcome to Six Figure Trucker, the podcast where we share advice on how to be successful in trucking and have fun while doing so. We'll share stories, news, and advice on how to earn six figures in trucking, and we'll speak to guys and gals that are already doing so. Let's get to the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. We appreciate you guys joining us as we drop some knowledge on you each week. Knowledge that comes from the drivers, and as you guys know that have listened to this show, this is an opportunity for us to elevate and celebrate the drivers that move the wheels round and round and make so much of the commerce happen. Of course, as you know, here at Norton Transport, we don't move freight, but we move the trucks that move the freight. And we're very honored to have a great guest with us tonight, and that's Jakee Dixon. Jakee, where might you be right now?
I'm on I-57 headed northbound, headed towards Chicago and Illinois.
Well, let's go ahead and set the record straight. Jakee is on his headsets right now. He's being safe, using the Bluetooth technology. What part of 57 are you on now?
I'm on northbound, just passing exit 212. Not familiar with the city right now, but the weather looks like it's the beginning of fall, and you can start to see the leaves starting to change, so it's pretty nice out.
Cool. Now, you are so you're getting closer to Chicago now?
Correct.
Gotcha. Now, for those of you who are joining us who may not know Jakee Dixon, he is one of our deck drivers, and you got a 4-set or a 3-set?
I got a 4-set right now.
And you picked those up in Von Ormy?
Correct.
Now, you're heading up towards Chicago. How far apart are your drops? Are they all in the same general location, or what's the drop?
The drops, I guess they're about 200 miles. The first drop in Chicago, then I got to make my way about 200 miles away towards Indiana, and that's where to finalize. You
dropped 3 in Indiana, or?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Now, for you as a deck driver, how rewarding, or how, I guess, how much does it make you happy if you get to drop all 4 at the same place?
Oh man, that makes a big difference because we're always trying to get back to the money. So if it's just one drop, it's easy to get everything off, and you can get to to that airplane and get to the next terminal, either back down to Texas or in Ohio or North Carolina. So that having one delivery, that's what I prefer, but you do what you have to do. When dispatch asks you.
Well, it's not too bad dropping 1 then 3.
No.
Now, I'm sure you've had occasions where you've had to go to 4 different locations.
Well, fortunately, I haven't had that to have to do 4, but I have had 3, and it's not that bad. Like I said, the thing is just the timing. You have to plan out your day. So you can be productive and, so that you can make it back, back to your next terminal, trying to get that next load. Because, while we're out here, we're trying to, keep the wheels moving so we can continue to make money. So,
well, we appreciate that, and I'm sure you do too, for yourself and for the company.
Yes.
Now, I'm assuming out of Von Ormy, you're moving new trucks?
Yes, sir.
Freightliners?
Yes, sir.
Are these Cascadias you're rolling out in, or what kind of trucks you rolling out
in? I got a Cascadia. It's a mixture of some the M2s, the ones that they usually put the they convert them into either box trucks or some type of utility truck.
Gotcha. So give us a description of what order they're in from the horse back, as far as type of truck on back.
Okay, so the first truck, the lead truck, is a Cascadia day cab. And then the following trucks are 2 M2s. And then the last truck seems to be a shorter M2 version.
Obviously, you'd have to put them that way. There's really no other way to arrange that particular configuration.
Correct.
Now, they're all going – did you say the ones are going – they're all going in the general Chicago area if you draw a big circle?
Yeah, you might as well say that. I mean, you can pretty much put Indiana as a part of the Chicago metro area because they're just a hop skip away from each other. So
Yeah,
uh,
particularly if you're going to Gary or somewhere like that.
yeah, yeah. So
Now, what's your next load after this? When are you hopping a plane back to Texas?
yeah, just gonna hop on a plane back to Texas and get with dispatch and figure something out. What else, you know, well, they do give me the opportunity to choose where I want to go. So if I see something or they feel like it's something that I might be interested in, they always suggest it, and we go from there.
Gotcha. Now, how many deck sets do you like to do in a week? What's a good week for you?
A good week for me, if I can get 3 in, uh, and that's pushing it. If I can get 3 in, that's a great week.
That's a fat week right there, paycheck wise.
Yes, it is, and the missus loves it.
I'm sure she does. How many are you going to get in this week? We're talking to Jakee Dixon here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Jakee, it's Thursday now. How many do you think you'll get this week?
Well, I picked up last Friday. I delivered this Monday. Picked up this Wednesday. I'm gonna deliver everything by tomorrow. So if I can pick up Saturday and deliver by Monday, that'll be 3 within an 8 day span. So I'll hit the quota that I'm always looking for.
That'll make the missus happy.
That'll make her very happy.
Now, when you get a good check like that, you bring home the bacon, bring it home to the family. Is it a special night out with you and the missus?
Yeah, sometimes, but for the most part, I like a home cooked meal. So I prefer like a home cooked meal and being at home. But yeah, we do occasionally go out and hang out. This what it was 2 weeks ago was the youngest birthday, so we went out to the Outback Steakhouse and celebrated his ninth birthday. So yeah, we
Okay.
do tend to go out and enjoy, Spurs sometimes.
Now, you said the youngest one is 9?
Yes,
Okay. How many children do you have?
2,
9-year-old, and how old's the oldest one?
13.
Gotcha. So you got a teenager in the house and a 9-year-old.
Y- Yes, sir.
And I wanted to ask you this question. You said you like a home cooked meal. Now, are you the cook or is that the missus?
Oh, we sometimes share the responsibility. I make good breakfast, and she makes some great pork chops. So yeah, so whenever I get the opportunity to cook, I will cook in the mornings. I make great scrambled eggs.
Gotcha. Now, what's the secret to your scrambled eggs? You put a lot of milk, beat them a lot.
Oh man, well, I guess you would say I beat them a lot, add a little milk and cheese, and just make sure I don't burn them.
Let the rest of the magic work itself out.
That's it.
Now, you were talking about your wife's pork chops. Now, do you guys throw them on the grill? She put them in the oven. How did she cook the pork chops?
Oh, I like mine fried. I like my
Okay,
pork chops fried. Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Now, what kind of batter are we talking about here? Are we talking about a cornmeal based batter, flour based? What are we looking at?
flour based, flour based with seasoned pepper, salt. I believe she used dill weed.
Hmm.
That's my favorite.
Now,
That's my favorite.
what goes with those pork chops? What's on the side?
She gonna have some cornbread muffins, macaroni and cheese, some greens, and probably some baked beans.
Man, I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry
Oh,
just hearing this rundown
I,
here.
I am too.
Now, do you like to take to the grill? Are you a bit of a grill master?
Yeah, I can throw it down a little bit. When we have get-togethers and stuff, I'm the one that normally that does the grilling and stuff like that.
Any specialties on the grill? I mean, any particular cuts of meat that you do better than others?
Well, everyone loves my salmon.
Oh,
It's like I use a brown sugar and honey and stuff like that. It's like a brown sugar honey glazed salmon, but I just I always go to YouTube to learn the new ways of making food and stuff like that. So I just learned how to smoke. So I've been smoking ribs lately.
gotcha. Now, ribs are not easy. I mean, you got to know what you're doing on the
No,
ribs.
exactly.
I did want to ask you about the salmon, though. Do you smoke it on the cedar planks or
Or the
straight
cedar
on?
planks, correct? Or the
Got.
cedar plank.
Do you leave the skin on?
No, I take the skin off.
Gotcha. Now let's go back to the ribs here, and talk about some finger licking good stuff there on the ribs. What's your secret on the ribs? I mean, because like we were talking about, ribs are not easy. You really got to know what you're doing.
Well, I remove the membrane. I get me some like a cherry wood or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I get that ready, and then also I get it ready. You know what I'm saying, by putting my seasonings on it. I cover it in mustard, and then I add my different seasonings on it and stuff like that so it stick. And then I stick it in the grill, and I let it I let it do its thing. With smoker, should I say?
Gotcha. Yeah, I've got a smoker myself, and I was skeptical of these wood pellet electric smokers because I was always thinking a smoker, it's got to either be charcoal or wood. That's just the way I thought about it. But it's convinced me. It's I've come around. I've turned. I'm like, it's pretty easy. You just fill it up with the pellets, hit the temperature, turn it on, and put the meat on there, and walk away. It's pretty simple.
I haven't tried that way. I always use I still use fire. So,
Well,
uh,
that's where I was coming from because it took me a while to break from that. I was like, man, it's got to have fire. But
I know that's right.
yeah, that's the way I was looking at it. But I'm in that camp. It converted me.
Yeah, you've been converted. Well, one of these days when I get one of these checks, I might have to invest in one of those new electric smokers like you got there.
They will generate the smoke, but I still have my old school smoker. I'll break it out from time to time if need be.
Yeah, you got to. There's nothing like being old school. There's nothing wrong with new school, but old school always, it's gonna be there.
That's right. That's right. You're listening to Jakee Dixon here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. He is up in the Midwest right now, delivering a four-way. Some new freight liners. I think he's got 3 M2s on the back, and the horse is a Cascadia. If you're just joining us now, he says the weather's nice. He's seeing the leaves change. What's it like for you being a driver, being able to see, the change of the seasons, for instance?
Well, I'm from South Florida, so we don't have seasons. We just have hot. That's it. So for me to be able to, go see, the different parts of the United States and see the different seasons, it's great because like I said, we don't get this in South Florida. So I enjoy it, and while I get to see this, I'm getting paid to do it.
Now, you were talking about being from South Florida and the different seasons you get to see. Do you have a particular season you like the best from the cab of a truck?
I like fall. I like fall. It's not too hot, not cold. It's just right. So when you get out there, you start undecking. The heat ain't beating down on you, and your fingertips aren't freezing. So the fall is my favorite season. So I prefer fall, and also it's football season. So of course fall.
And that's a practical season for decking and undecking. So give us the straight skinny on what it's like. Let's take it to both extremes. Let's start with the summer since we just came out of summer. What's it like decking and undecking? Let's say you're in Texas and it's 105 degrees.
Oh man, I mean, you feel like someone's got to you in the oven and you got to work in the oven while that sun beating down on you and you're trying to work as fast as you can to hurry up and get done. Or some guys they'll start in the evening time and start it early in the morning if they can't. You have to deal with that Texas heat where they can be trouble sometimes. So I mean, some guys I've learned from some of the veterans out here, like I said, they'll either start working in the evening, prep the trucks, or they'll get up early in the morning so they won't have to work too long in the heat.
Makes a difference.
It does make a big difference.
Well, let's take it to the other extreme. You kind of touched on it about your fingertips, but let's say you're dropping or decking and undecking in Buffalo in, let's say, mid-January.
Oh man, I haven't undecked yet in the winter. So I can't give you guys a read on that yet. I have done it when in another part of trucking, but I can tell you this: that's the worst. I'd rather work in the Texas heat than in that cold.
Gotcha. Not looking forward to that, but enjoy the fall while it's happening.
Yes, sir.
Now, you were talking about you had done it in another line. Trucking is not a new thing for you. Tell us how long you've been doing it.
I got my license back in 2012. I became an owner operator in 2016. And then I started my own trucking authority in 2018. And I closed it December of last year, 2022. And then that's when I started working with Norton.
Gotcha. Now, you started as a company driver back in 2012. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to name the company, but what was it like being a company driver?
Well, you don't have the freedom that you have here at Norton, and you don't have much input of where what you're doing or where you're going. So, I mean, you take the good with the bad. It was for me to get started in the industry, so you have to put your dues in, but it doesn't come close to working with the deck section and working for Norton.
Gotcha. So I guess when you started, what's that, 11 years ago? That was forced dispatch, I guess, as a company driver.
Yes, yes, sir.
How do those compare, working under a forced dispatch atmosphere versus what you have with Norton now?
Well, I mean, it's going to be a clash because with force dispatch, it's just another number, and dispatch is trying to do their job. So they hear what you're saying is whatever your concerns are, or your problems, or if you're trying to get home, but they're trying to do their job. So what you have going on comes on the back burner because they're trying to get their jobs done. So it can be personalities clashing because you're not getting along with your dispatcher because they're not hearing you out. But here at Norton, with my dispatcher Ashley and Brittany, I mean they hear you out, they work with you, and like I said, you know Norton to me, is the best thing since sliced bread. So I can't complain.
Well, we love to hear that. That's a nice compliment, and we're lucky to have Jakee Dixon as one of our key drivers here on the deck side here at Norton Transport. And wanted to ask you this question. You mentioned Ashley and Brittany, and I have to, full disclosure here. Brittany's the one that recommended you to be on the podcast. She said Jakee would be a great guy. We talk about this a lot with our guests on the podcast here, the Six Figure Trucker brought to you by Norton Transport, about the relationship between a driver and a dispatcher. Let's talk about who do you deal with more, Ashley or Brittany, or about the same?
I deal with Ashley more. But I also deal with Brittany. But Brittany is like, she is the boss, and Ashley is just like, the liaison between the two of us if I have any concerns. But Ashley, she can take care of a lot of things. So they make a great pair. I can't complain.
Gotcha. Now, making a great pair, as far as a driver, you've got, let me do some quick, 11 years experience on the road in different capacities. What do you want to bring to the table as far as communication with your dispatcher, and what do you expect in return from them?
Well, I just want to be open and honest with them, and I want to be straightforward where they can trust me with with the information that I give them if something goes wrong, and that's basically it. And what I expect from them is the same thing, and to have my back. If something goes wrong with a customer or something like that, to have my back and vouch for me basically.
Gotcha. Now, I talked to Brittany. It's been some time back that she had recommended you to be a guest on the podcast. And just a few minutes ago, before we actually started this evening recording, I talked to a former dispatcher of yours, Jessica. Now, do you remember working with Jessica?
Yes, I worked with her during the singles, correct.
Now,
And she was great too.
She said the same thing about you. She said, I asked her, I said, give me some skinny on Jakee before I get in here and start talking with him. And she said, we talked about it for a minute, and she described your actions and interactions, and we came up with the two words self-reliant. Now, I know you're a modest guy, but would you say that description fits?
Yes, yes. I mean, in trucking, you have to be. I mean, that's what makes it great. Pair with your dispatcher. If they know that they can rely on you, they don't have to babysit you. That's where the trust comes in. That where they'll have your back if if you give out you make a pin or something like that because you can be trusted because of your previous actions. So that I can agree with that I'm self reliant.
Now, you talk about the benefit that it gives you in that relationship with your dispatcher, but it would seem obvious in the extension that it would give you a great benefit with the customer.
Yes, of course. So with the customer, I try to uh, you know, practice professionalism, which is a big thing here at Norton. Try to be the best professional I can and represent Norton the right way. So, if I ever have a problem or anything like that, I know that customer probably recognizes me or knows me, and if something goes wrong, again, they trust me enough to take my word for it.
We both know from both ends, both sides of the fence here, that not everything goes as smoothly as we would like it to in this logistical world. That's just the nature of the business. Sometimes, things come up. How do you approach it? What's your attitude as far as unexpected things, be it traffic, be it units not ready, waiting on a part after a breakdown? How do you deal with those things?
Oh man, from dealing with, being in trucking 11 years, it's just patience, not overreacting, not getting upset. I mean, like you said, in the logistical world, it's always going to be a hiccup somewhere, some type of chaos or, something not running smooth. So you just got to take it for what it is. It's transportation. You know, you can't get too high, too low. Just stay even keel and, keep a good attitude, positive attitude, and everything will work itself out.
Did you develop that positive attitude when you got into trucking, or did you have it before?
Really trucking. I can't say that I was always positive, but trucking definitely helped uh, shape me and give me character because I was really impatient when I was younger. And basically, trucking it brought out some good qualities in me. So, trucking really I'm not I can say that it saved me, It saved me.
Yeah, you told me earlier before we started recording that it changed your life
Yeah.
in 2012. Did it? I mean, did it tap down into you as what you are as a man, as far as showing you some things that you may not have known that you had within you?
Yes, yes, of course. Like I would have never thought I would have had the courage to drive up and down mountains and handle a big rig, over 80,000 pounds. I had some insecurities about what I could and couldn't do in life, but I mean, trucking has basically broken all my fears. Like I don't fear anything anymore. I mean, trucking was one of the best decisions I made in my life.
Now, going back to your days as an owner operator, owner authority, I would imagine that presented a lot of challenges.
It did.
Kind of tell us what some of the harder parts of that side of trucking were for you personally.
Well, I mean, I also had a couple of drivers, owner operators. So, you know, these dispatches, what they go through. They're angels from above that can, to work with knucklehead truckers because I know what it's like to deal with the different personalities and, that can be challenging. And you got to deal with the customers. That can be challenging. So, I mean, breakdowns. I mean, it's a lot of overhead and the hard work behind the scenes that us truckers out here driving we don't see behind the scenes what the dispatcher, the owner, the mechanics, the company is going through the safety. We're just out here driving, and some of us might take for granted what the back office is doing. So, yeah, trucking can be challenging, especially from the back office standpoint.
Now, do you have a good working mechanical knowledge, or is that something that you're just more a driver, or do you know some things? Could you solve some problems if they're minor on your own out on the road?
Yes, I learned a couple things from a couple drivers. Avery Witten, he's a driver here. He's pretty good mechanically inclined, so he showed me some things. And then also I got an uncle who's been in trucking, and he's also showed me some things because before that, I didn't know the difference between the wrench and screwdriver. So trucking definitely has expanded my knowledge in being mechanically inclined.
Gotcha, and that helps.
Yes, it does.
Now, you were talking about Jessica was your dispatcher back in the singles days. How long were you driving singles for us?
Maybe 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks.
So you didn't stay in that long.
No, no, I was focused on getting to the deck side. Like I said, I got a couple friends over here, a couple drivers over here, and it got me interested, and I was all geared up. I just was locked in and loaded, trying to get to the deck side to the training.
Well, who are some of your friends that are? I'm assuming they're Norton drivers, but you can go ahead and name drop.
Yeah, Jermaine Tatum, he's one of the good drivers over here. I mentioned him earlier, Avery Witten. Uh, you got Jethro, Monte. Those are just a couple guys to name.
Now, do you guys obviously you network together? How do you do that? How do you keep the information flowing?
We I mean, we just always on conference calls and stuff like that. We always talking, meeting guys at the yard, stuff like that, meeting well, not new drivers, but we might meet someone we never knew. And most of the guys at Norton are, they're friendly, and we just build relationships off of that.
Do you guys ever spend any time together? I mean, I know a lot of times your paths are not going to cross, but if they do you guys spend some time together socially?
Oh yeah. Jermaine, he comes down to South Florida and he hangs out with me. I go up to Atlanta, hang out with him. Avery, he's local in San Antonio. I spent the night at his house several times. So, yeah, we hang out. We're close knit.
Pretty tight.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Here's a question: if I were a fly on the wall and we had three deck drivers together hanging out at the bar, what kind of things do you guys talk about?
We always talk about our misses. Basically, we can't wait to get away from when we're on the road so we can hang out.
A lot of people that work in different professions, they talk shop even when they're away from the shop. Is that true for deck drivers too? Or you guys, do you talk about the day, what it was like, the way you wish it had been, or the way that you were thankful that it did work out that way? Do you guys talk a lot about the life on the road when you get together?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we talk about it. Some days, some days it can be, dragging, when things are slower or they're not going the way you want it to go. But like I said, you keep a positive attitude and it always works out. And then when you got, a support system of other drivers, with friends, they cheer you up and, you just keep it moving, you keep pushing.
Gotcha. You're listening to Jakee Dixon here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Jakee joins us. He's in the Midwest right now. Going to be dropping in the greater Chicago area, a 4-deck set. If you're just joining us now, Jakee, just kind of recapping here, has been doing this since 2012, and he said it changed his life. And he's I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jakee, but I guess you're at the apex of your career now.
Yeah. I can honestly say what they say. 10 years, 10,000 hours makes you a master of your craft. So I can say that I am a master. I'm a journeyman in as the unionized world would say. I'm a journeyman. So I figure that I have an expertise in driving trucks now. I don't know everything, but I am knowledgeable.
Now, you were talking, we kind of talked a little bit more about it before we started recording here on the Six Figure Trucker, about how important family is to you.
Yes, I mean, I love my family. I get up and I come out here for my family. Like I said, I got the missus and my two boys. I got a mom and sister. niece and nephew that I look out for. So trucking affords me, to be able to, provide for my family and look out for my family when they call on me.
Now, are they all in the South Florida area with you that you just named off?
Yes, everyone's in South Florida,
What part of South Florida you guys live?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh man, been down there several times. There's some great food in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, it is.
I can't. I will never forget being down there with a girl I was dating at the time. It was mid-December. We went down for Christmas, and we were in the ocean. And I believe, if memory serves me correctly, it was like 86 degrees. And I'm like, there's no wonder everybody comes down here to retire.
I tell you, that's that perfect. That's that one season. Basically summer all year long. You can be in the beach during these. You can go to the beach during December and not have on your sweats.
Yep. Now we were talking about your family. Your son's playing football. Is that right?
Yeah. He's playing football. This might be his last year though.
Now let
This
me.
might be his last year.
He's the 13-year-old, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Might be his last year. Is that because I guess he's about to head to high school?
Yes. Yeah. He's about to head to high school, and he finally decided to play tackle football this year, and he did his best, but I think he says that he's not going to be the next Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. I mean, he's at a decision point in his life. I mean, when you're, making transitions between middle school and high school, it's a good time to make that decision. How long did he play?
He played the last 2 years. He played flag the previous year, and then he said he wanted to give tackle a shot, and I guess he is not what he thought it was going to be. Like I told him, it was going to be hard work. It wasn't the flag football. You just show up for one practice before the game. It's multiple practices during the week, and I don't think he liked that. I think he'd rather be playing, his PlayStation 5. So,
I
but I
got
made
you.
him stick it out.
I got
Yeah.
you. Now, are you a Dolphins fan?
Yes, sir.
Well, they're having a
True and
season.
true. Yeah, we're having a season. Hopefully, Tua can take us all the way there.
Did you catch that game against the Broncos?
Yeah, I caught it. Yeah. We made Sean Payton want to go back in retirement.
Yeah, you probably made him want to go into a cave. What was it? They hung 70 points on him?
They hung 70 on him
Wow, that's amazing. Now, how long have you been a football fan? All your life?
all my life. South Florida, that's the number one sport. My dad was a big Dolphins fan and Florida State fan, and I just just fell in line.
So Florida State's your college team?
That's my dad. Well, he passed away, but that was his team. As I got older, I always wanted to do opposite of my dad, so I became a fan.
Okay. Well, they're having quite the season as well.
Yeah, we having quite the season. Just hoping to get back to the glory days.
Well, they've been the Wolverines have been right up there the last few years. They've been sniffing at it and
Yeah.
certainly contending. Now,
Oh no, not the Wolverines, the Hurricanes. It's the Miami Hurricanes.
Okay, Miami.
Yeah.
I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
the
yeah.
University of Michigan. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
never.
No,
Yeah,
okay,
never.
you're keeping it local, right
Yeah.
there. Now the
Yeah.
Hurricanes, I guess their signature victory so far this season was that win over Texas A&M. I guess.
Yeah, but we lost two. What one? I don't know what the coach was thinking against Georgia Tech, and North Carolina. They've been surging the last couple of years. So yeah, they put it on us last week.
That was a shocker against Georgia Tech. I saw the way that one ended. It was,
Yeah, exactly.
well, yeah, like you said, what was he thinking? What was he thinking? But are you more of an NFL guy or a college guy?
To be honest, I'm more of a college guy.
Is
I
it
like to see the different guys, the seniors moving on, and then the next, underclassmen stepping up. So it's always a change.
seeing who's next?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
basically, yep.
You're listening to Jakee Dixon here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Jakee is a deck driver for us. He was a singles driver for a very short period of time. He's no stranger to driving, been doing it since 2012, and has worked just about every facet. Was a company driver, owner-operator, owner-authority. Now he's a deck driver, working in the Driveaway space. Says this has been the best thing since sliced bread for him, and I wanted to kind of drive it home here with your family. Now, being a deck driver, and we talked about some of those fat loads when you can get 3 of them in a 7-8 day period. Have you been able to do anything where you could splurge on your family?
This past me and my missus, we like to take trips. So this past June, we went to Jamaica, and hopefully for the new year, I wanted to probably try Paris, because we've
Nice.
been everywhere to the Caribbean. So I'm hoping that that the deck sets keep rolling in, and I can get those lows and keep them moving, and hopefully I can do that for a holiday present for her.
Is this going to be a surprise?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to surprise her. I don't know how to surprise a woman. They know everything, so probably got to get my sister involved or something to make that happen.
Got to get some help on that. You get some help on that.
Yeah.
Front. Well, make sure she doesn't listen to this podcast. We don't want to give it away.
and I'm not gonna let her listen to it, because I try not to let her know how much money I'm making. I tell her I'm doing 2 loads a week when I'm really doing the 3, so I keep that one to myself.
I got you. I understand. Now, you were talking about you went to Jamaica. Did you do the all-inclusive?
Yeah, we did all inclusive. I can't remember the name of the resort, but we swam with the dolphins, and we did it was like a canoe. I can't think it. The guy was on a boat and we were sitting down. He was using a long bamboo to push us around, but we did that, and we just hung out and had a good time, and sip on Bob Marley's.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that water down there is unbelievable, as clear as it is.
Yeah, it's nice. I still, I got home bias. I'm from Fort Lauderdale, and I think we got some of the most beautiful beaches, in the world. So, but yeah, it does compare. It's very nice.
Now, you were talking about sipping on some Bob Marley's. What was in a Bob Marley? I'm guessing there was some rum in there if you're in Jamaica.
I know it was rum, but it was some type of frozen drink. I don't know. It was red, green, and yellow, and I know it had rum, but I didn't even ask. I just kept drinking them and having a good time.
Absolutely. Bob Marley, quite the I guess the favored son out of Jamaica. Did you get to check out any of the local music scene, or did you guys just stay on the resort?
We just stayed on the resort. The missus, she's not one that she's not adventurous as I am as far as going out and meeting the locals, but she likes to do those, what it is when you what is it called when they
The excursions?
sliding down. The excursions, yeah, and I really don't care for those, but whatever she says goes on those trips. So
Happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. I got you.
That's right.
Now, on the Paris trip that we'll obviously keep it between us, but on the surprise portion of it, is this something she wants to do, something you want to do, or the both of you want to do?
We both are avid travelers. We like to travel, and I told her I didn't want to go any more Caribbean islands or cruises or anything, and I told her I want to see Europe. So I was thinking, Paris is what they say is the love capital of the world or something like that.
Yeah.
So I figure I try to be romantic because she says I don't know how to be. So
you got to prove her otherwise.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, so you say in January?
Hopefully in January. Once the winter gets here, I want to go over there and experience Paris. While it's cold and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Now, what's your next deck set going to be after you drop these? You're going back to Von Ormy, is that right?
Yeah, going back to Von Army, we're gonna get back with dispatch and see what we can put together.
Okay, so you don't know your destination yet.
No, not yet. No.
We got to be clear here. We set the record straight at the beginning. We're talking with Jakee Dixon here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Now, Jakee is on the road, but he's on his headsets, being safe. What do you do when you're on these long runs and you know you've got a long run? How do you pass the time?
Normally I either listen to some podcasts. Now that I'm aware of this one, I guess I can start to chime in, and listen. But I usually listen to audible books and listen to the news and stuff like that. Listen to music here and there.
Gotcha. What book are you listening to these days? I mean, are you more of the crime, romance? What kind of things do you listen to on the books?
The last book, let me see here. I was listening to some financial stuff, trying to start. Well, I should have already been doing this, but I have to take it more seriously as far as financial stuff, as far as like planning for the future and stuff like that. So I've been listening to some books like that, trying to get insight and trying to learn more about investing.
Well, that makes sense with a 9 and a 13-year-old and the missus there. I mean, you've got possibly college coming up for those two, and of course, even before college, there's a lot of expenses associated with a daughter and a son.
Yes, of course. So, I just want to be prepared. I kind of, got a little bit of a late start, but I'm trying to, catch up. And like you said, I'm trying to make sure that the kids are able to be provided for if they choose to go to college or whatever their next endeavor is. And as I get older, I know I'm not going to be able to drive all my life. So I want to be prepared for retirement.
How do you manage your finances as an independent contractor, since you're one of our deck drivers here at Norton Transport? How do you manage that as far as there's a lot of ins and outs to it as far as, taxes, expenses, and so on and so forth? How do you keep a rein on that?
Well, I always use QuickBooks when I was had my own authority, so I still use that. I have an accountant, and basically, my accountant basically tells me, basically, how much I should, put up, as far as towards taxes for the quarter, and then also, what I should be putting inside of my IRA. So, like I said, we've been working on a strategy to make sure that I'm taken care of in the future.
You're listening to Jakee Dixon here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. And, of course, Jakee's talking about finances and how he handles his own as an independent contractor. And I guess what would your advice be to other drivers? I guess you were a singles driver for just a blink of an eye, and then you moved into the deck side. But would your advice be different for singles versus deck drivers as far as how they handle their finances?
Well, yeah, there's a difference as far as the expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the single driver, you're responsible, for your transportation to the load and stuff. So it's better to pre-plan, your load, so you can be closest to one, to your next load, so you don't have to come out of pocket as much to get to your load. And basically, with the deck. They Norton is very fair. They do a good job with the expenses. So, I mean, I don't have a complaint about that. I mean, you just make it work for you. I mean, I'm not going to tell it all, but what I've learned from some of the experienced drivers, you try to make sure that you get close to a city that has a international airport, so you can get to your next load.
Absolutely.
Without it being too much of an expense. Yeah.
I got you. How far will you be from an airport after you drop this quad set?
Probably 40 miles.
Okay. And will you be flying out of Chicago?
No, I'll be flying out of, I believe it's going to be Lansing. I'm not sure.
Okay, out of Michigan.
Lansing. Yeah.
Out of Michigan there?
Out of Michigan.
Wanted to ask you this question. Being a deck driver, Norton, obviously we support our deck drivers and their expenses on the road, but do you have a preference? Don't have to name the brand, but as far as hotel accommodations, how do you like to get your rest in when you're. I mean, obviously, you got to be on top of your game when you're, when you've got 4 big pieces of equipment under your control. Do you have a certain type of hotel that you like to stay in?
Yeah. I like a hotel where, preferably I can look out the window and make sure I can check it and make sure that load is is secure and safe, under some light, preferably, some cameras pointed at it, because it can be nerve-wracking, you go to sleep and you got your valuable tools in there and you wake up and, somebody probably, been vandalized the truck or, took your property. So I try to, go well-lit, places where I can, get the truck in at. But my preference is, if I can find one with truck parking in Marriott.
Gotcha. That's a nice place to stay, obviously. And how important, how much value, I guess, better way to say it, do you put on a good night's sleep?
Oh, man, you got to have a good night's sleep so you can be on top of your game when you're out here, because, you're not only driving for yourself, you're driving for the motorists. Some of these guys can get, pretty out of hand with their recklessness. So good night's sleep, it keeps you sharp when you wake up, good breakfast. And, it helps you get you to your final destination, without any problems.
Now, do you drive most of the time conventional hours? I mean, 9 to 5, 8 to 6, whatever the case may be?
I prefer early in the morning, like 3, 4. So by the time I probably get to a major city, I pass through it, and I can beat the rush hour in the morning, and I can beat the rush hour in the evening, so I can shut down.
It goes back to what you were talking about as far as proper planning.
Correct.
Would you say of all the qualities that you need, the characteristics, the traits that you need to be a successful deck driver, is planning the most important? Patience? How would you rank them as far as the most important things?
I'm always gonna say patience, because, like I said, like you said earlier, in logistics, it's never perfect. So you have to be patient and keep a positive attitude, and the planning, that it falls right in line. You're patient. So even if something goes wrong with the planning, you're patient and you're not, you even kill. You're not too up and you're not too down about the situation.
Now, Jakee, I wanted to wrap up with you here. We enjoyed the roughly the hour you've spent with us, dropping a lot of knowledge on us. Wanted to ask you, kind of tap into that knowledge for other drivers who may be considering this. And unless they had your kind of background, they probably wouldn't start in decks, probably start in singles. But what would your advice be for somebody who's maybe on the fence, thinking about it, considering it, moving into Driveaway? What would your guidance be?
I would tell them not to think about it and just do it, because like I said before, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, you get the independence without having to own the equipment and having the overhead of owning a company, and you make good money. So I would definitely say, don't even think about it. Just, get into it. You can find someone, the training, or, whatever Norton asks you to do it, because at the end it's going to pay off and you will be happy.
Well, the next time we talk to you, you may have already seen the Eiffel Tower.
Hopefully so. Like I said, I want to make this happen. When I get with my sister, like you said, and we do some proper planning, and hopefully I can tell you guys about the trip.
Thank you very much, Jakee, for being on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Jakee Dixon on the Six Figure Trucker.
Six Figure Trucker is brought to you by Norton Transport. Norton Transport is a drive-away trucking company that customers can rely on. It offers excellent independent contract driving opportunities to professional, courteous, and qualified drivers that can provide the kind of service we deliver. If you're interested in learning more about Norton or just want to subscribe to the show, check out 6-figuretrucker.com. That's 6-figuretrucker.com.